Welcome to the Everyday Game Changers podcast. You will hear from everyday people in business, music, community, and more who are changing the game. And now your host, marketing expert, and personal branding specialist, Barian McQueen.
Welcome to another episode of the Everyday Game Changers podcast. I am your host, Barian McQueen, and you know how we do every week, man. We talking to game changers in business, community, music, and more. And today, community, music, creative, activator, I guess we would call her activator. We just went to one of her lit events. I'm gonna call her, y'all call her Mel. I'm gonna call her Mel the plug, because Mel is plugged in. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm amazing. I'm glad to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
And discuss your journey. Like, so I know you from a management perspective, but how do you, like, you do more than just manage. Like, I'm seeing you putting events together, like, in like a couple days, like crazy. And then
Madness.
Walk me to this entertainment space. How are you introduced to this as a whole?
Perfect. So I always start where I pretty much everything started for me because, you know, I went to school. I played soccer all my life. I don't know if you knew that. Yes. And I got a full ride to college on a soccer scholarship. And I really never knew what I wanted to do.
Got it.
My freshman year, I was at FIT in Melbourne. I was in the medical program, and I was in psychology. And it didn't really fit me too much. So after the first year, I was like, nah, this isn't it. And then my coach, I didn't really like her. Hopefully she doesn't see this.
Yeah. She was like, oh my gosh, Mel was my favorite.
No, oh my gosh. And so I moved back home. I'm from West Palm Beach originally. Okay. And my high school coach actually got a job at Northwood University. And he was like, Mel, come here. Like, won't be able to give you a full ride, but I'll be able to do 80%. I'm like, psh. Let's do it. Wow. So that was a business marketing school. And I switched my degree over to business management, but I still had no idea what I wanted to do. Like, right. I was just playing ball, getting good grades, and like kind of just floating, you know?
Right.
But I've always been creative. I'm creative. I'm lefty. So I think that has a lot to do with it. Since I was a little girl, I've always, even with my little cousins, I've put together like, you know, shows for my family, and we put together like a Colombian restaurant. So I've always had that. Wow. Yeah, I've always had that gift or talent. But it wasn't until I was about, I would say like 26. My cousin passed away. She was like a sister to me. Wow. Before she left me, she was like, you need a career job, you need something you're passionate about. And so I, transferred from working at Duffy's through college to
Duffy's.
Yeah, to Wells Fargo when it changed from Wachovia over to Wells Fargo. And when she passed away, I spent like maybe a week or two with my good friend Farah, who I always tell her I owe her for life because, you know, when I spent the 2 weeks with her, she was kind of mentoring me, and she was like, you're so gifted, you're so talented, like, I don't see you behind a desk, like, you really need to tap into that. And like, we would go to the beach, we would talk, and, you know, somehow, I don't know how, we came up with a marketing company. And I was just like, okay, this isn't for me. So then I was out with my mom one time. I love telling this story because it's so divine to me, the way I stepped into the industry. I was out with my mom and her friends. My mom's a party animal. Everybody who knows her knows she loves to go to the bar. She loves to hang out with her friends. And they had a Miami trip, and I'm like, I'm coming with you guys. And we were sitting outside, and this guy comes up to us while we're sitting outside, and he's like, you should come out with us. His name is Jonathan. I haven't heard from him in a while, but I still remember. And my mom, he was like flirting with my mom and like all the older ladies. Like, you know, he was being
He was like a promoter?
Yeah, he was a promoter back then. He was like, don't worry, she's in good hands, blah, blah, blah. And my mom's like, sure, why not? We're staying right here. Like, I trust you. I feel the vibes. So I went out with him, and then somehow I connected with Javier, DJ Golden Boy. I don't know if you know him. He is he does like big nights at Live, at Story. Okay. He's one of the big promoters here in Miami. And I connected with him, and he was like, yo, come out, bring some girls, blah, blah, blah. And 1 minute to the next, I'm promoting parties out here.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. So I was like, I started doing the.
I feel like everybody was a party promoter at once in Miami. Is that like the thing?
I guess. I don't know. I guess, but it wasn't a long run for me because early I realized I didn't want to be on the flyers half naked. I didn't want to do that. That was never my personality.
Got it.
And so, but he liked the work that I did because I was bringing like different girls. I was bringing the girls from Palm Beach who, were going to school, who had regular jobs, who, but still fly as hell, still beautiful. Yeah. So I was like, look, I don't want to promote every weekend. This is not like, I'm not that. I was older too, so I was like already over the party stage. Yeah. And I was like, but I'll do it like special events like my birthday or one of my homegirls' birthday. And he's like, don't worry. And he was paying me nice back then. Like, I was like, oh, this is nice money to just bring beautiful girls out, have fun in peace, have our own table, nobody bothering us, bottles, So I did that, and I did that for like 6 months. And I grew a really nice network within those 6 months.
Just being out.
Yeah, and I think people differentiated me because I was out with a purpose. Like I wasn't really out trying to go home with anybody.
Just to drink and party. You
exactly.
was getting active.
Yeah.
Getting contact lists built.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then one night I was out with my homegirls and we brought in a table of soccer players. And they bought like bottles. They did like a nice spend. And so he put us, it was at Mansion, I believe it was. And he put us on the stage next to them. And there was a group of girls hosting as well. And they were like, we want to be on stage. Why are they on stage? Blah, blah, blah. And my friend was like, Mel, do you mind if, you switch and you let these girls go up? And I'm like, well, if we switch, we're leaving and we're taking the table with us.
Oh, snap.
And so the whole night, those girls bullied us. Like they were coming up on stage, being super rude to us, like staring at us nasty. And I'm just like, who are these girls? So we leave, we're on our way, driving all the way back to Palm Beach because we didn't live here. And we look up the girls and they have like so many followers and they're spreading this horrible message on the internet for women. I'm not going to say any names, but I'm sure you know. And
this isn't like Taz's Angels, is it? It gotta be Taz's Angels.
It is. And
I'm like, only people I can know that fit this criteria.
And I love Taz's one of the girls, Kenya, who, I'm not super close with her, but we met later on in life.
Got it.
And I told her that, pretty much on our way home, I was inspired by starting a movement for women that are fly, that are beautiful, that, have a different vision and a different word to get across on the internet, because I'm like, my little sister's online, my little cousins are online. I'm like, this is crazy.
It's a different route you could go.
Yeah.
Got it.
So they're like, let's do it, Mel, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right. So I started my first brand, and it was called Live Vivacious.
Live Vivacious.
Yes.
Okay, we getting exclusives here. Okay.
And it means to, always be forward thinking, to look at life with a positive mindset, to spread positivity, and just to always wake up with that fierceness in you. And so we started it, and through that, we were like, well, let's sell a product. Let's have these dope messages that everyone's doing right now, like the memes and all that.
Right.
But let's sell products. And so we're like, okay, what do we sell? And I was like, what about sunglasses? Because it's a vision. You see out of them, you can, you get what I'm trying to get to. So we started selling sunglasses, and through that, I'm like, okay, how are we going to promote it? This was so new to me. Like, even school didn't teach me this. I was just like, okay, I know pretty girls from going out. Like, I know a few people here. You guys are pretty. Like, let's just start putting together photo shoots. And through that was when I realized I love the creative aspect of branding.
This is the Mel Vision moment. Okay.
Yes, that's where it all started.
Dope.
Yeah, that's pretty much how everything started for me. And then through that, I started working with a small label in Palm Beach, and they brought me on board as their casting person or director. So whenever they had a video, I would cast girls for the videos, and then little by little, it led me to my first really big production video with Eve Rivera.
Wow.
Yeah, and I did my first time making that much money.
Eve.
Yeah.
Man, I just seen one of his Khaled videos.
No, he's insane. He's amazing.
Wow.
But that video was what led me to production. So everything kind of trickled over to what I'm doing now. And then I managed back then as well. We can get into that, but that's
so
pretty much
all right.
how
So
it's-
now I know you have two artists. I thought I only knew So, and now I know I was missing one. Right. So your first introduction to managing an artist, how do you get to that point of one finding the talent and then like, okay, I'm gonna manage you?
Yeah, so when I started my brand, I started putting together these shoots for artists, for models, for, creatives. And my goal was always to highlight women in the industry.
Got it.
And I came across Monique. I'm not sure. She's from Miami as well.
Okay.
And we did a shoot for her where I was inspired by J-Lo and Gloria Stefan, 'cause she's like very spicy, Momo.
Got it.
And we did a shoot based on that. And she was like, can you be a part of my team?
Oh, snap.
And I was like, okay, well, what does that mean? And she's like, well, I don't know, let's figure it out. And so I became her road manager. But pretty much I was doing day-to-day stuff with her too, like coming up with her creatives, listening to her music. Like, that was the first artist for me that I can say, that was me managing someone. But it was too premature for me. I didn't have enough structure and backbone. I was doing everything really informal. So, I spent like a year or so with Momo, and then I realized I needed to take myself back out of it and really create a structure and formalize things for me so that I can protect myself, so that I can make proper money. You know what I'm saying? Because management is a little difficult if you're not doing it properly. So
100%.
So after her, I stopped and I just kept producing videos, producing visuals, producing cover arts. Production is my bread and butter.
Dope.
Until now. Now I'm managing two artists.
So
again.
So I want to get into the artist thing, but I'm so like, I love this aspect of you being a creative because this is a skill set that most managers don't have. So when somebody gets you as a manager, they get a style coach, they get a photographer, a music video director, they get all of this that encompasses. What's your vision? Because I've seen you've been the director of some of these music videos, not just this my artist's video. Now I'm doing the treatments and the mood boards and the talk about like, how do you get into that?
I think production really taught me that, because I've produced a lot of smaller scale videos on my own, but I've also taken the jobs where I'm working with an Eve Rivera or Cinema Giants, these larger production companies. Like I'm on set as second AD,
Right.
So I'm the little man. I'm
Talk
quiet,
that talk, though.
but I'm learning the roles.
Yeah.
And so it has allowed for me to understand what I need to direct and the team I need to direct. And really, it all came about when I worked with Wham. He's an amazing director, and Wham allowed me. He was like, shit, Mel, you can take the lead because you are doing an amazing job. Like,
wow.
You're coming up with great ideas. Like, let's do this. Let's co-direct. I got you. So when he did that, I was like, oh, this is cool. Like,
Right.
and I'm a Leo, so leadership, and I played soccer all my life, so it's easy for me to be like, no, do this, go here, like, let's get this shot, but really it's all been self-taught.
Dope.
But to me, like, I'm not where I know I can be and I will be.
Got it.
But the only way that I have been able to do is by having people like on site on my side, by having someone like Wham on my side, someone who I just worked with too, Mike Russell, who is okay with saying, okay, I see the vision. Let's go. I got this.
Let
and
her do her thing, right?
they lower their ego and they're like, no, we got you.
That's
Because
dope.
for me to say I'm a director, like top, no, I'm not there yet. However, I know I do have a vision, and with the right people supporting it, we can.
This
we
what
can
I be
make
trying.
movies.
Which camera am I looking? This what I be trying to tell y'all. I do not want to hold the camera no more when I'm directing videos. Give me the little screen so I can just tell y'all what. First of all, let me change it. Get the right budget to allow me to hire the right people, so I could just look at the screen in the director's chair. But
that's really what it's all about.
that's
honestly.
where I want to be, man. I be having vision, but it's the come up is like you got to do everything. It's like, so I hated directing music videos because I was the shooter, I was the lighting man. I'm just like, yo, this little $1,000 budget for this music video. I'm like, I can't do this for 8 hours of color grading, and nah, I'm good. So let's talk about finding talent as far as So you had that experience with management that just you kind of got thrown into it, but you really didn't know but you was just doing it.
Yeah.
To now you got some structure set up and you like, okay, I'm going to do this management thing. And your first artist is?
My first artist is Chachi.
Chachi.
Her name is Grisel del Valle.
Okay.
She's Puerto Rican. She's from New Jersey. She's a singer, songwriter, actress, dancer.
Oh, all around entertainer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I didn't start off as her management. I just started off, she went viral when the hurricane happened in Puerto Rico. And my friend Robbie, I don't know if you know him, he sent me her page. And he was like, yo, she's so dope. You know, I don't think she's ever put out her own music, but she's amazing. She's Puerto Rican. Her voice is incredible. And I looked at her page and I was like, whoa. Wow. She really is. And so
she just needed the male sauce.
Yeah, I genuinely contacted her because I just wanted to work with her.
Right.
You know, that usually I truly just love working with dope women, you know, talented women, and helping them find their brand and, you know, kind of development through photo shoots, through videos, through whatever I could do. And so I contacted her through Instagram and I was like, hey, you're amazing. I was like, you know, do you have any music? Where's your website? Right. She's like, actually, no, I don't have any music out. She's like, I've never put out my own music, you know, but she was touring with Don Omar as his lead vocalist. And she's toured with Romeo Santos as a lead vocalist too. So I was like, girl, we need to work, blah, blah, blah. She was like, oh my gosh. She's like, I've been praying for someone like you. And then little by little, we started working. Good old
DM, man.
Yeah.
Hear this angel, this DM etiquette Mel had.
I just went straight for it.
Wow.
But I never expected to manage her because I don't just manage anyone after, you know, my first experience.
Yes.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of personal work. To me, I think what I bring to the table, like you said, is a full package, but the most important role that I play is mentorship too. And that's heavy, you know, so I can't take on certain artists unless they're ready to be at that mindset with me because it's me putting myself on 100%. The line too, you know? So if I'm working while you're sleeping and if you're working while I'm sleeping, we got to make sure we're on the same wavelength because, you know, as long as we're moving at the same pace, we're going to win. 100%. But if you're not and I am, you're holding me back.
Got it.
You know, so that's what I love about Chachi is, one, she's incredibly talented, and two, her heart is the same as mine. Dope. And that's one of the main things that I look in when I'm like, okay, I'm going to manage an artist. But honestly, it's a lot, and I've turned down a lot of people.
I'm sure.
Have said, and I'm like, I don't just manage anyone, but, you know, I would love to consult you, or I would love to do a photo shoot for you.
My favorite word is consultant. Oh, my gosh, I love that because it's no... The management thing is a different level of responsibility that you put on yourself to oversee somebody's career.
It really is.
And it's like, I don't have the time to do that, but let me help where I can help.
Right.
Let me pull some resources together that maybe can help further your career without me being on some paperwork as you run around telling everybody hit up my manager type. I feel like that's what artists want to do. Hit my manager up. Like that just sounds like I'm bigger when I say, yo, that goes through management. Like, I feel like that's why artists, because I be like, these artists don't even have anything to manage. But you managing somebody that you just saw, she didn't even have music out. You just knew you wanted to work with her.
I did. And then after a few times of working with her and, you know, I know a lot of producers and I know a lot of songwriters here. And I, you know, just through being in the industry for so many years, I also found a love for music making through the pandemic. And, you know, I got her.
I seen you in the studio the other day. I be on social media lurking. I be lurking in people's studio sessions. If I see somebody in the studio, I'm all in the lives. Like,
so we started creating music and she's amazing.
Dope.
She's amazing. We are gearing up for her debut album.
Nice.
Next year,
Dope.
God willing. So she came in for Leo Bash, obviously, but she came in to, you know, kind of wrap up a few of the songs. We sat in front of Cesar Ochoa, who has a marketing and strategy company, and he used to work for Sony Latin for many years as a VP of sales. So, you know, just kind of, you know, we met with a guy from Universal, as well, and just kind of getting everyone ready and seeing who's going to partner with us, because she's
it.
fully independent. Like,
dope.
she funds her own projects. She moves herself around. You know, she produces her own shows in New York. They're like dinner, like 100-seater shows. Wow. And she sells them out. And sometimes she has to open up like a third night.
Really?
Yeah, no, she's incredible.
That's fire.
She's incredible. And so we finally have a full body of work. It's double-sided. And yeah, like, you know, the old days.
Yeah.
Where it was like side A, side B.
Yeah.
Because through working with her, she really has two sides. It's Grisel del Valle, which is her mature side, where she's singing ballads. And it's La Chachi, where she's just like this Jersey girl.
Dope.
Like, you know, it's like
Split
a lot of sazon, a lot of mambo. Like, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm really excited. We're like just rehearing her project when she was here. I'm just like, I'm totally amped up.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Y'all hear that, man? Chachi. So talk to me about, I know a little bit about the So-So story, though. Talk to me about that.
What do you want to know?
So I know about, you know, you saw her at the mall, and so give them some perspective, because they don't know this story.
Okay. So,
about Lil So-So.
So back when I first...
My dog,
I keep
So-So
doing
the
that.
Don.
Yes. Big So-So.
Big So-So.
Yeah, so I was in the Wellington Mall, and this was when I first started, you know, everything that I'm doing. And I just saw her in the mall, and I was with my mom, and I'm like, I don't know why, but I need to walk up to her, and she's a star. Like, and my mom was like, what? She's like, you're just going to walk up to her? And I'm like, yeah, why not? And she was
Crazy.
like, she's like, okay. I'm like, come with me. So, you know, it doesn't look like I'm some crazy girl just walking up to her. And she was 14 back then.
Oh my gosh.
She's 21 now.
Wow.
And she was still in high school, and she was with her mom or one of her close friends. And I walked up to her. I said, are you a model? Are you like, she's like, no. And she was like, I mean, I'm kind of have like a few followers on Instagram. I take pictures I'm in high school and I take pictures there. She had like, I would say like 15K when I met her.
Damn.
Because she's a beautiful girl. Like, she just was taking pictures. She was doing crazy things, like going live and fighting people. Like, she was a rebel. So, but back then, both I was, again, not ready. And she wasn't ready either. She was just she was all over the place. Yeah. She was outside. And she just wasn't ready to take things serious. And so I got a few shoots in with her and like a few moments with her, but we always kept in touch.
Yeah.
And fast forward, she had her baby. Rest in peace, she lost her baby father, who was the love of her life.
Yes.
And I think that put a lot into perspective for her. I think she's always known she's going to be somebody. And from the moment I saw her, I knew she was going to be somebody. Yeah. I've only done that twice, and one was with her.
Yeah.
And then throughout the pandemic, like, we always kept in touch. Obviously, Instagram, you know, allows for her to see what I'm doing. Can see what she's doing. And through the pandemic, she contacted me and she was like, Mel, I want to talk to you. I think I really want to get into music. And I'm like, okay. And she was like, I'm going to send you a few things. And I was like, okay. So she sent me her music and I listened to it and I was like, okay, I can hear it. It was very Palm Beach, like super hood, like, but I have an ear. Like, right. Like, I understood what she was trying. You know, with
the right people, she gonna be fine.
Right. So she was in a group, but, you know, one of the girls kind of, you know, went her own route. And she was like, Mel, I really want to do this, but, you know, I don't want to do this without you. Like, I really trust you, and I really think we could do some great stuff together. And I was like, okay. I was like, let's get into the studio. So we got her in the studio with Gampi and a few of my boys. And
shout out to the Vibes, man.
Yeah.
I've just met them at Chaleo Bash.
No
the
way.
Vibes. Shout out to the Vibes.
No, they're amazing.
Shout out to Johnny for plugging me in.
Yes. No, Joel, Gampi.
I told them I'm gonna pull up because they right by my house. I'm in Broward. So
wow, yeah.
they like, oh, just pull up.
They're in Plantation.
Yeah.
And so that studio, I booked it for her, and then I went to Colombia to produce a video. And while I was in Colombia, she sends me a song. And it was Better Life, her first single.
Yeah.
I'm like, now we're talking.
Okay. She got a vibe going.
Yeah, I'm like, this is something that I can, we can work with. So, you know, Lunch Money Lewis, he's my good friend for about, I would say 6 years now. And we met when I was working the Momo project.
Oh, okay.
I was randomly at the Pink House with Ghost, Momo, and everybody, and I was out back working on my computer, and Lunch comes outside because it's like a real house upstairs in the studio. Yeah. He's like, hey, he's like, it's Friday. He's like, it's after 5 o'clock. You want a glass of wine?
Oh, shit.
Like, sure, why not?
That's your introduction to Lunch?
That's how we met.
Oh, my gosh. Lunch is that guy, though, man.
Bro, I had no idea
He's
who he
so
was.
laid back.
I had no idea who he was. And I just felt like, I felt safe. And I was like, all right. They were in the studio. I went upstairs. And ever since then, bro, we spent 3 hours drinking wine that night while they were in the studio, getting to know each other. And we've been really good friends since then.
Damn. Shout out to Lunch with
this
number one record in the country.
Bro, that's my brother.
Shout out to Lunch, man. Good people.
Shout out to Lunch.
He's always loved when I see Lunch.
No,
that's
seriously,
dope.
he's such a good person. He's one of the reasons why I stay in the industry.
Mm.
He gives me hope,
Dope.
you know, because the industry is very cutthroat. But when you surround yourself with people like him and like yourself, it really keeps you going because it's like, all right, we're supposed to be here. You know, it's not just that type of person. There's our type as well. So
there's some real people here with some pure hearts and some genuine, because this is a shark eat shark industry for real, for real.
Seriously.
So when somebody's looking for management, right? Like, I feel like people looking for somebody to finance stuff, right?
Yeah.
So this new role of manager is like manager, PR, ATM machine, like, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that's what they think. Like, so like, what's the, as a manager of two artists, what's your role? If you could break down what the manager role is supposed to be, and clearly we know you do more than what the regular manager should do, but what should be the manager's role for the artist?
Well, like once you get to a certain level as an artist and you get to a label, you have so many different managers, right? You have your road manager, you have your business manager, you have your branding manager, you have your day-to-day manager, right? There's a lot of different roles that a manager can play, right? But in my position, I do more of the branding and development side. And like I told you, mentorship comes with that as well. But I think that when you're looking for a manager, find a manager that believes in you and that is just as passionate about you as you are for your music and for what you're trying to see and is on the same page. I do believe funding is important.
Yes.
And that's why I contacted Lunchy when I found So-So, because I knew she was a big product. And I knew that I would probably be able to carry it for a while because of how many resources I have. And because of the experience I have with like branding and a lot of people like her and she's very likable. But the reason why I said, Lunch, I need you on this is because I know we needed more than just my brains and my creativity and you know, what I can bring to the table. So I definitely do think like, all right, and being an investor is different than being a manager, but if you can kind of bring some type of financial support to the table, it is important. But if you can't, then again, find someone that can figure out how to move you around, that has the resources, that can put together a photo shoot, that can pull in some favors for a little bit. That's not going to last long. But definitely someone that is on the same wavelength as you and that has more experience than you do and that can move you around. Yeah. Especially if you're, you know, a big product like So-So.
Shout out to big So-So, man. So-So out here looking like money every day.
Bro.
Like,
she's the best.
She's so chill. I met her mom at your event. Her mom was having a blast. She's like, this is my mom. She ain't been out the house. She was vibing all night. I'm like, that's dope. So what's next, man? Talk to me. We got Mel Visions Productions coming with.
Well, somebody asked me that the other day. What's your like end goal for all of this? And development's really, really big for me. So getting one of my artists signed, taking them to the next level so that I can continue to do that for other artists that I may come across. But on a like day-to-day scale, I'm leaving to DR on Monday to work with Bella Dos. Amazing Latina bilingual girl group.
Fire.
I've been blessed and honored to listen to their project before it drops. They're supposed to be dropping their album probably next month.
Okay.
I think they're gonna do it. So it's incredible. Oh my gosh. Like
I was impressed.
Their range, their camaraderie, their manager, Vicky, she's done an incredible job on developing them. It's pretty much like a turnkey project, you know what I mean? And I feel like she hasn't really shopped them around much, because she wants, you know, someone to partner with her and give her
100%.
credit
She
as well.
did all the work.
She's done.
She did all the work.
And I understand that, and I
100%.
respect that,
Yeah.
and I really, really am praying that happens for them, because, wow,
Right.
like the work that she's done. Obviously, the girls are talented, and it takes for the group to put in the work too. But what she's done, the way, the morals that she's instilled in them, the work ethic, you know, she's invested a lot of money, but a lot of time into it. So I already know something good's gonna happen for them, and I'm really excited to be working with them. Like,
That's dope.
Yeah.
How does somebody, like, when I watch you move, you don't really do nothing on a small scale, right? So when I see you do stuff, I'm like, damn, Mel's like not playing. Like I see a So-So photo, a regular photo, and then the next thing I see So-So was with Puma. And then after that, I'm like, okay, I seen So-So regular. Now she's with Bel Air. And like, how are you navigating these partnerships, and how important is the branding aspect of putting these with these artists?
So it's the work that you do before getting the partnerships. So the photo shoots that you're putting together and making them look out of this world. And, you know, I've presented that to a few teams and a few artists. And, you know, I've put together decks and stuff. And I'm like, listen, let's do this for 90 days. This is my rate for me to be all yours for your artist, for me to do all the branding. We need to do some photo shoots that aren't going to be paid, that you're going to have to pay for.
Right.
But I promise you, we're going to start getting these checks after that. You know, maybe 3 months, maybe 6 months. But I already know once we enhance their image, people are going to want to be like, okay, this girl looks amazing in our clothes. This girl, she's putting out fire content, you know. So that's one of the things that I love with the So-So project, because Lunchy has really just been like, Mel, go for it.
Right.
You know,
That's
he
fire.
makes me put together the budgets, makes me put together, you know, the treatments and all that. And he's just like, go.
Yeah.
And by doing that, we caught attention, and Bel Air knows Lunchy. And so when they saw So-So, they were like, oh my God, we're obsessed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're obsessed. And then I have a contact at Puma that I've been working with for years now, for like, I would say 4 or 5 years, very lightly, you know. And then we just kept the relationship. And when he saw So-So, he was like, oh, she's got to look.
Dope.
You know, so I've been blessed to be able to bring her those opportunities through my relationship with my contact at Puma. But really, I think that it's about the work that you put in prior to getting these people that are going to reach out, or just being ready, you know, for them.
I be trying to tell. So I got my first big brand collaboration was with Mercedes-Benz, right? So my friend literally used to work at the Mercedes-Benz dealership in West Palm on Okeechobee.
Oh, wow.
And she used to get to drive a loaner car home every day.
Amazing.
She's like, yo, we got to do some photo shoots with these Benzes. So we used to go downtown City Place to the rooftop and take her Benz pictures. And then I just started sending them to Mercedes-Benz, like nonstop. And then we did the same thing with H&M and just a bunch of free photo shoots. And then we started getting the calls like, yo, can we post this? Can we do this? I mean, we've done it with Airbnb.
Wow.
We went to an Airbnb and just showcased this Airbnb. Airbnb's like, oh, can we use this on our Instagram feed? Are there any other places you want to go that we can?
Amazing.
I'm like, oh man, that's how I fell in love with the branding aspect.
Yeah.
It was just like being a photographer. And I'm like, this is what I like to do. Just create dope stuff. And if we could partner with some brands, cool. If not, we got some great images out of it, right? And it is what it is. I love that mentor aspect of what you're doing with artists. What's some advice you can give to an artist that's like, they might not can afford Mel right now, but they seeing Mel, they seeing So-So, they seeing you move, and they seeing everything online looks amazing, but they like, I want to get a manager like Mel. What should I be doing as an artist to get Mel's attention?
That's a good question. You should definitely be using whatever you have access to create some type of movement for yourself. And we have so many free tools now, like TikTok, Instagram. Our iPhones take amazing pictures. A lot of Soso's pictures, I take them on my iPhone. So, you know.
Y'all got no excuse, man. No excuse. Keep going.
Yeah, and really, like, I always say this, like, I meet so many talented people that just don't know how to get out their own way. Like, don't overthink. Really tap in with yourself. It's mind, body, and soul. So are you eating right? Are you thinking right? Are you around the right people? Are you going to the gym? Are you doing things to enhance your everyday life? That's going to feed into how you are as an artist. And that's something that I instill to anybody that I'm working with, any of my artists. But I think, create your own movement and do what you can with what you have. Don't, like, I feel like Instagram and social media has like kind of placed a lot of pressure on us. Like, if you're not driving this big Mercedes, or if you don't have like the crazy jewelry, you're not making it. Like, no, you take the steps, because those steps are going to lead you to where you can go.
That's dope.
And sometimes, you might be able to skip steps, but you won't be able to hit the next step if you're not waking up to take the steps.
Got it. That's dope. And give me some. So that's from my artists out there. I know y'all wanted to know that. For my creatives, give me one piece of advice you could leave for the creatives. That's just like, most creatives that I meet, they're very introverted people. If they cameramen or photographers, they just like, I just like taking pictures. I don't like the business aspect of being a creative. I just want to be a creative. What kind of advice you can give to that creative?
Definitely formalize what you're doing, because you will get burnt. And I learned that the hard way in 2016. But it was meant for me to experience that, or else I would have just kept falling and going in the same cycle. Definitely formalize what you're doing. Learn the business side of it. Learn how to make invoices. Learn how to send proper emails, and tell somebody your rate, but maybe work with their budget sometimes in the beginning. Maybe lower your rate just to work with the person, and show them what you can do. And then, price went up after you show them what you can do.
Facts.
So I feel like also put the stuff out. Don't hold back.
Telling y'all, clean them hard drives, man.
Yeah, put it out.
Don't.
Like, what if you don't put it out, then it's just gonna sit there. But if you do put it out, there's a chance that it might go crazy. It might blow up. It might take you to getting booked for a crazy gig, So I did a lot of that in the beginning. I did a lot of the no making money. Like, I still do that sometimes. Yeah. I still work with an artist that's just starting up and give them a crazy nice rate. Yeah. Because I believe in them and because I see the vision. I won't do it for their whole project, but I'll do it for one of their videos or for one of the songs that I really, really like.
That's fire.
Just because I want to be able to tap into different artists, and there's a lot of talent out there. So I'm not the type that's like, no, this is my rate and that's it, you know, but at the same time, like, I have to eat and I have, this is what I do for a living. So
that's fire, man. Man, there you have it. Mel, where can everybody find you on social media?
I'm on Instagram.
Okay.
Melly.Andrea with 2 N's.
There you go.
ANNDREA.
I'm appreciative of your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Another episode of the Everyday Game Changers. I hope y'all got some gems. All my artists, all my creatives, producers, whatever you do in entertainment, Mel has done it. She done party promoted. She had a girl group out here selling sunglasses. She's done it all, man. So thank you. And I appreciate you.
Appreciate you.